Are you meant to be with your twin flame? That's a big question. I think in order to answer that question for ourselves, we have to look at what it actually means to be with your twin flame. If I was to line up 20, 30, 40 different twin flames and ask them to write down what it means to them to be with their twin flame, I'm sure I would get 20, 30, or 40 very different answers. The common thread throughout all of these answers, though, would probably be basically the same, that it would be to be in some type of a romantic or committed relationship with them. But if we look at romantic and committed relationships, the definition of those, like what it means to be in that, would be very different and very nuanced for each person. My romantic relationship doesn't look like somebody else's romantic relationship. What's right and wrong for me in a relationship may not be right or wrong for somebody else in a relationship. Those things are very subjective to the individuals that are in that relationship. And so with you and your twin flame, what does it mean to actually be with them? And I think that's a question that we should ask ourselves, because it's a question that's going to lead us to a recognition of the conditions that we put on relationships, the boundaries that we have, what our value systems are and our moral codes, and what we expect out of a partnership with someone else. And oftentimes when we end up with someone, whether they're our twin flame or not, we find that on a lot of levels, the reason that we're attracted to them is we line up fairly well in a lot of those things, in a lot of those core values. But in almost every relationship, there's going to be conflict, because somewhere along the way, there's going to be ways that we don't match up. Expectations, moral conduct, belief systems, and, what it is that we want out of a relationship, our own needs being met versus their needs being met. Those things are going to not always be perfectly aligned. And it's not any different with our twin flame. However, the way our twin flame reacts and responds to us is very, very different than somebody who you could say is not our twin flame, right? Like a soulmate. And that's because of the nature of the relationship from a divine perspective that it is. Your relationship with your twin flame is unlike any other relationship. It's meant to teach you and guide you toward personal growth, toward spiritual growth. It's meant to guide you and, maybe corral you into a relationship with the source, the divine, God, your higher self, whatever you prefer to call it. I think there's levels to that. But at the deepest level, it's the all, it's God. And our twin flame relationship is meant to open that door for us to be able to have a relationship, the deepest relationship of all, which is the relationship with Source, with the all. That's what makes the relationship with the twin flame so incredible and so unique. So to be with your twin flame, to try to turn it into something that is very mortal, oftentimes doesn't work. That's because the twin flame relationship is something much greater than that. The truth is, and I don't know a spiritual teacher that would say otherwise, unless they maybe aren't really a twin flame teacher, like maybe they haven't really actually gone through a twin flame awakening. All that I've ever spoken to that have, that, you can kind of tell when someone has, right? The consensus is that being with your twin flame is something that already is. I mean, when you look up information online about twin flames, you come across the idea of twin flame union. And most people are talking about physical union. And again, that's the subjective part of it, because that's really based in ego and ideas and expectations. But being with your twin flame, being in true union with your twin flame, is actually not something that you need to acquire or create or seek out. The truth is, you're already in union with your twin flame. It's not something that you cannot be in with your twin flame. You were in union before you even knew that they existed, and you are in union now. The relationship that you have with them in the beginning wakes you up to a divine love that you've never experienced before. And we mistakenly attribute it to something that they have given to us. But really, it's something that they awoken that already existed within us. It's not something that we have to have them there for. That's what they wake us up to, the divine connection within ourselves. And then when they're gone and we go to this place of thinking, oh, now we're disconnected from that, that's the illusion that that period of separation is meant to wake you up from, is that being in union with your twin flame, being in union with the divine, feeling that amazing love and connection to that, and that wholeness, that fulfillment, is something that you already are. It's not something that you have to seek out. It's something that you generate and experience from within yourself. And so the twin flame, as far as being with your twin flame, that is something that when most spiritual teachers are talking to you about it and they say, I'm going to help you be with your twin flame, a lot of them are talking about physical union, but most of them are not talking about physical union. They're talking about getting you to a place where you are comfortable with the idea of what union actually and already is. And there is a faith and a trust that comes from accepting union as it is. There's also a huge relief and empowerment and joy that comes from the understanding and the experience of what union actually is. The 3D world around you of material matter and form is just an illusion. So there's no separation between you and your twin flame, or really any other person on this planet, or any other consciousness that exists, in this universe. You are at one with all of it. Separation comes from the 3D veil that we are experiencing, with our 5 senses, sight, sound, touch, taste, this physical form that we experience. We feel separate from everyone else. We're in our own heads and we hear our thoughts and nobody else can hear them. And so we think that we are, individual, separate selves. In a sense, there is some of that, but behind the scenes, energetically speaking, we are not separate. We are all one. We're not just one and at union with our twin flames, but we're also at one and in union with all of creation. It's not, us versus the world. It's I am the universe. I am in the universe, and the universe is in me. That's what I believe that Jesus meant when he said, I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. I believe that what he meant by that was that he is at one with God, but God is greater than he, which means that he is God's creation, and the creator is always greater than the creation. You are the creator of your own experience. You are greater than your experiences. You are greater than, all of the things that you have or haven't done. You are at one with all of that. So, but you are the source. So another way to look at it would be, if you're looking at a mirror, the reflection in the mirror is real. It is a real reflection. But if you wanted to change the reflection and what it looked like, you can't just mess with the reflection in the mirror and try to change it, right? Like, you can't make yourself look different by, like, you could break the mirror, you could do all kinds of things to the mirror to try to change the reflection in the mirror, but you can't. Even if you broke it into 1,000 shards, that mirror is still going to look exactly, it's still going to reflect exactly to you what you look like and what you are, right? The only way to change the reflection would be to recognize that there is a source of that reflection, and then you could go and change the source, and then you're going to get a different reflection. The universe is like that. The universe is a mirror. It's a mirror that shows you what you are, right? But you are the source of that, which means you are greater than that, which means you have the ability to change the reflection. And until if we believe ourselves to be the reflection, we feel powerless. Once we recognize, though, that we are the source of the reflection, we wake up and we recognize that we are the source, then we can go in and change that reflection and get a different, experience around us. That right there is what the twin flame is meant to wake us up to. If we are trying to find love outside of ourselves, it's our twin flame's job to make sure that we don't identify as the reflection, right? Getting the love outside of ourselves, changing things from outside of ourselves. Instead, we're meant to recognize that the true source of love isn't found in our twin flame. Instead, it's found within us. We need to go to the source. Once we go to the source, once we recognize where that true love comes from, and we fall deeply in love with that, right? Because that's what we are. We're in love. We're being love. We are love. That's when there is not that polarization between you and your twin flame anymore, right? Because you're not seeking that love from them anymore. You've recognized that you already are that love. And so when twin flame teachers are talking about, oh, if you do this, you do that, and you do this, then they'll come back to you. And that's why they say, like, you have to let go, you have to detach, you can't, you got to feel meh. That's actually really what I think that they're trying to point people toward. But I wouldn't call it a feeling of meh. And I wouldn't say that you don't love your twin flame. I would say that it's actually the opposite. I think that your love from within yourself is just, you're at one with it, with everyone, with everything, including your twin flame. And so there's no separation in your love anymore. You just are that love. You're in that love. That's what you are. And so you're not out here trying to find it here or there, here or there, here or there anymore. You already are that. And so, of course, you're going to still feel that deep love and appreciation for your twin, but you're going to feel it for all things, for every experience, for every breath that you take, for every moment and every day that you wake up, you will feel that love. That's nirvana. That's, samadhi. That's, that's union. That's union with the all. That's pure divine love. That's the core, the monad, right? So you already are with your twin flame. Illusion really truly is separation really truly is an illusion. And when you wake up from that, that's when you realize that you already are with your twin flame, that there's no circumstance, there's no time or distance. There's nothing, there's no specific way that things have to be showing up in order for you to be with your twin flame. Okay, you whatever it is, however it is, whatever, however it's showing up, whether they're alive or not alive. because some of you out there have, you know, that your twin flame is not alive anymore. You know, but it doesn't matter. You're still with them. You've never not been with them. Even when you didn't know that they existed and that twin flames was even a thing, you were still at one with your twin flame. It's only the belief system that you have to overcome. And that's a process. It does not happen overnight, you guys. It really does not happen overnight. It is something that is a journey. And I want to reassure you that you are not alone on that journey. We're all here with you. But also you have, you know, the energy of the universe that's guiding you. And, you know, there's not a breath that you take. There's not, you know, a thought that you have. There's not a moment in your life that isn't known by that great all, or that great universe. And every need and desire that you have and want will be gifted to you. And you're already in the process of preparation for all of those things. So we'll go more into what that means in later videos, because I have some plans to share some of those things with you, certain universal laws and things like that. But I'm going to end it there. You are in union with your twin flame. Are you meant to be with them? Well, of course you are. You're already with them. And there is nothing that can change that. There is no circumstances, no thoughts or belief systems, no, you know, physical, you know, circumstances, even, you know, being in human form. None of that can change the fact that you already are with your twin flame. And I know that's not always the answer that the ego wants, because the ego is rooted in, you know, belief systems of and expectations and pride and so on and so forth. But the truth is, underneath it all, there is no separation between you and your twin flame. You are already one. You are already together. You always have been, and you always will be, even when you don't feel like it. So I love you guys. If you guys have questions, you know, we've got one-on-ones that, so I know this stuff can get very confusing, and oftentimes when we hear things and even when they resonate, it still opens up more questions in our minds. And I promise you, if the question exists within you, the universe is going to send you the answer. It doesn't necessarily have to be through me. But I am here to serve you. And if you guys do have questions, need any help or guidance or just a listening ear, I'm more than happy to be available to you. So you can always find all of our contact information in the description box below, and any specials that we have will always be there as well. We do have group memberships where you get to talk to us through group calls, and we also have one-on-ones available. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you again for tuning in and supporting the conduits. We love you guys very, very much, and take care. Bye-bye.